Hello and welcome to the show. I am here on Forza 6 with another autocross car build, and my vehicle today, well, I thought it was going to be a tough job to find a car less suited to autocross than the Hummer and a car that I could get up into A-class. But we might have one in the Cadillac XTS Limo. Yes, I am going to try and turn this into an autocross vehicle. Now, the handling I'm not too concerned about, in all honesty. This thing drove very, very well from standard, so I'm hoping we might not actually have too bad a handling. It's the length. The length of the car is going to be the big problem when it comes to autocross. Also, one of the rules for this series is the cars are not allowed to change the driveline. So this Cadillac starts off with front-wheel drive. It must remain so. Now, getting this into A-Class, we're likely to have quite a lot of power. Sort of understeer could become an issue. We will have to wait and see. The first thing, though, that will be done to the car is let's get some lovely race tyres on it. I'm wondering what tyre width we can get on here. 285s. I was hoping for a bit bigger on a massive Cadillac. I was hoping for some slightly decenter sized tyres, but we might also get 285s on the front. Indeed, we do. So 285s on the front is pretty good. A lot of the time, we don't see this bigger tyres on the front of the car, so we should get some half decent turning. Fingers crossed, at least. That is the hope for this vehicle. Oh, shall we go stick some aero parts on it? Sure, why not? Make it look really really ridiculous. Yes, we will have a splitter on the front. Please be silly. Please be silly. Don't have a tame kind of little air dam at the back. Hey, it's silly. Not quite as large or as stupid a wing as it could be, but yeah, that's what we want. That's what you need on a limo for increased downforce. We need the the silly wings. Right, still sticking with the handling parts, brakes, and like very, very important. It did actually get stopped pretty well from standard when we went racing with these. It did handle surprisingly well despite its size and its weight. And in all honesty, I mean, it's not as heavy as I thought at 5,500 pounds. It's a lot still, but not quite as heavy as I was expecting. And we can get it down to 4,200. Yeah, I mean, it's still pretty heavy, but that's about the same weight as the Tesla. I think it's around. I think the Tesla, yeah, from standard, the Tesla is around about that weight. So that's not too shabby at all, I don't think, for a limo. Admittedly, this may add quite a lot of weight. 242. It's not. It could. Again, I was expecting that to be a bit worse because there is a lot of car to put a roll cage in. Can't really see the roll cage in the back, but there we go. Yeah, we will go for a full roll cage in the limo, and then we will stick on the anti-roll bars. Now, one thing about the standard limo, the gearbox is pretty awful. So I look forward to having some sensible gear ratios. The real question, because if I change the engine, I'll have to change this all again. I think is what engine do we go for? We can probably get it into A-Class. I'm not sure quite how much power we will get into it with the standard engine. The NASCAR engine is a possibility. I don't really want to use the NASCAR engine. This is the problem. Okay, so we have a choice of 5.7 litre V8, the 5.2 litre V10, which is a Lamborghini Gallardo engine, or the NASCAR engine. Now, my concern is that the NASCAR engine... Is the NASCAR engine heavier? I think it is slightly. So the V10 is the lightest option. My concern is, of course, this much power going through the front wheels is likely to cause issues in A-Class. Now, the fact that I can get the NASCAR engine in here with 825 horsepower and it's still in A-Class makes me worried. Because to get this to A-Class, we're going to have a huge amount of power. I am going to go for the V10, though, in this one. Now, this should... I'm guessing we can probably... Yeah, we're probably going to have to go for a near enough maxed out engine in this car if we're going to get it into the correct class. Let's go through and stick these bits in. Good. Gearbox can jump up the PI plenty. We're going to stick a clutch in. We're back to about 4,500 pounds in this. Yeah, the engine did add a little bit of weight, but we need to be able to add the power in. I will come back to the driveline because we're probably going to need sort of 1 or 2 PI to make up something somewhere along the lines. Yeah, we're going to have far too much power, I think, for this to be usable, but never mind. It is going to be a case of being incredibly careful with the throttle on this one. Now, I had hoped that... I'm not even sure we're going to do I'm not sure we're going to do this with this engine. Let's keep going and sticking parts in. I mean, the difficulty with building up the NASCAR engine is that the restrictors are either on or they're off, and that's, you know, that can change the PI by a fair amount. So I'd rather have an engine that I could put in smaller individual parts. Even so, with this, I mean, we're going to be getting up to a similar kind of figure. Oh God, this is not going to work. I can sit here and tell you that this is not going to be a good car to drive. We're past the 900 horsepower mark in a limo that's still front wheel drive. We have some nice big front tires comparatively, but I don't think they're going to be big enough. Not for what we are about to ask them to do in this car. Drive line. Give us some weight reduction. There's some weight reduction with the drive line. Dear. We are probably going. To be fair, I think we may do slightly better with this engine than with the NASCAR one. We've got slightly less torque in this, and it might give us just that little bit more control. I'm hoping that. Yeah, 917 horsepower in a front-wheel drive limo doing autocross. What could possibly go wrong? Right, we are here at Hockenheim, ready for... I'm not sure if I'm ready, I'll be honest, but I shall be trying 3 times to get the Cadillac through the autocross course. Now, our target really for this one is, can it beat the Hummer? We are not going to be getting anywhere near the top of the table. The Hummer, though, has a time of 2 minutes 39.9. That is what we are going to be attempting to beat today, basically, because, yeah, the fastest car, BAC Mono's a 2:07.7. We are not getting that, I can guarantee you that much. We are going to have a lot of wheel spin, probably not a huge amount of control, and the car, I've got to try and get used to driving a car of this length through the gates. It's trying not to clip like the gates on the inside here as we go through them. That's going to be the tricky bit. Fortunately, it does seem as if the gearbox has got some very, very long gear ratios, and that is a lifesaver in this, basically. The fact that second gear here is so long will probably save us, and we are not doing too badly on wheel spin. Again, having this really, really, really long second gear is... I'm so glad about that. Well, for the actual racing, when we race these things standard, yeah, the gearbox was too long gear ratios. Really, this is so useful because I'm coming through here. Right, we get the car turned. We will not turn very well there. Now I'm booting. I'm flat out. You can see I'm on full throttle. In fact, you got the little telemetry thing there. No problem going to flat out in second gear. I might just keep it in second the entire way round. This does not handle that badly either. I've got to give the limo credit, you know, it really does not drive that badly. Yes, we are not as quick through these corners as the likes, you know, of the Mustang or as the MX-5 and so on, but it is not awful. And the length is actually not becoming too much of a problem. The length is really not a massive issue. I thought it would struggle through here, but that change of direction is really nice. I'm still amazed by just how well this limo does. Yeah, we are occasionally spinning up one of the front wheels, and that is perhaps to be expected. Let's face it, we have got so much power in this car. Oh, that's where we might have issues there. Okay, trying to get on the power a little bit too soon, coming into the tunnel, and I just got understeer and got dragged wide, and I was trying to take a clever line through there, and it didn't work, and I'm definitely not making that one there. Okay, so it's all got a little bit wrong towards the end of the lap, but combine the gearbox with some half decent handling, and this is working really, really well. Like, yeah, I don't want to put this down into first. I think if we do, I'll just put it down into first here just to show you. Oh, I clipped the cone there. Yeah, it's just wheel spin, so it's pointless. First gear is useless almost, other than setting off. We'll keep it in second, and that's fine. So I think I hit at least 4 gates in that one. We're going to beat the Hummer. So, attempt number 2. I keep being surprised by the Cadillac. This shouldn't be as good as it is, but it really does handle its size and everything. incredibly well. Right, second gear, and then we're good. Don't need to change gear for the for the rest of this, pretty much. And because there is enough power and torque and so on in this car, we can get away with doing this. Yes, it's not as fast accelerating as the Mustang. No, but we're not frantically spinning the wheels with a mile of understeer. I mean, we're still carrying, that's 80 miles an hour through there, through that change of direction, in a 900 horsepower front wheel drive limo. I mean, that's only, what is it, 20 miles an hour off what the Mustang and the MX-5 could do? Sure, 20 miles an hour in an autocross course at that part, it's quite a large gap, but for the car that we're driving, I pushed it too hard. No, we got away with that. We did have enough turning to make that one work. Right, now I'm going to get slowed down through there. The final section of this track, I think, is perhaps the hardest bit for this car, because it does get quite fiddly, and with this being as long as it is, you do have to be quite cautious. Yeah, I mean, we're just about at 100 miles an hour down there, and the other cars have been cracking 100, I think the Mustang was 115-ish into braking to this change off the main course, but even vaguely comparing this to them cars is a massive credit to this thing. Yeah, I am getting some wheel spin in this as we come out of these corners, but it's nothing like I expected. I thought we were going to be awful. I've got to be a little bit careful through there. So that's where we've been having oversteer issues with the rear-wheel drive, even the four-wheel drive car. With the Hummer, we had oversteer issues there. We will have understeer issues in this car if I'm a bit too aggressive with the throttle. So we've got to be just a little bit more patient around here. We'll be a little bit more patient. Don't let the wheels start spinning. Then we can. Ooh, I slightly mispositioned myself. Then we were in a good position. I just slightly misjudged the width of the car, and that was my bad on that one there. I think the rest of the run though is going to be better. Yeah, I've got to be a little bit slow through this section here that we're coming up to. This is where we can get caught out by the length of the car. I think I definitely got caught out on that first attempt. Right, slow you down through here. Try and make the most of some of the acceleration, some of the power, as we weave our way through this section. Oh, there we go, and then straighten ourselves out. Floor it towards the line. Ooh. A 2:29.3. That's with a 5-second penalty. A 2:29.3. So we're already 10 seconds quicker than the Hummer. And I can definitely go faster. Right. Final attempt. Could I get this down towards the 2 minutes 20 even? If I have a really good run, don't make any mistakes, maybe we could see the limo go that fast through this course. I really do hope we can. I really hope I can drive this car fast enough to set that kind of a time. As this car is such a good car. It really does so well. Like, I thought this was going to be utterly bonkers and ludicrous and unusable, and it just isn't. It just really isn't. There we go again. 85 miles an hour, actually much more controlled through there as well. One thing we do have to be a slight bit careful of these opening few corners is cold rear tyres. Being a front-wheel drive car and as such a long wheelbase as this, cold rear tyres could catch me out, but we seem to be doing okay with that so far. Yeah, it does feel a little bit more wiggly on the first few corners, especially that fast change of direction early on. It does feel like it is just thinking about letting go. It doesn't, but it does feel like it's just about thinking it. Oh, that's 102 miles an hour in a limo on an autocross course. I'm not sure I would pass it on my limo driving test. It probably isn't the most comfortable thing imaginable if you were sat in the back of this. And I imagine all the champagne glasses are kind of fallen over. And yeah, that probably wouldn't be too comfortable back there, but it can really shift this car. And again, we're coming out to this is a really horrible gate. This is, that's where the proper fast autocross cars, they still struggle to get around that section. That's how tight it is. Limo's still fine, and I'm not clipping gates with the back of the car or the side of the car like I thought I might be. We got to 110. Yes, there was a little bit of wheel spin involved in that one. I have understeered ever so slightly. This is where we've got to be careful. Be careful, we're through. I think I keep expecting this to be wider than it is. It's not wider than a normal car, it's just the length that you have to be aware of. Right, we're turning in here. Things are good. Just a slight dab on the brakes to make sure we pull it in line for the exit of the hairpin. Right, try and get some power down, try and get some acceleration going on in the mighty Cadillac. Oh, that's a little bit problematic. It wasn't too bad, actually. Slightly problematic there, but nothing awful as we come around the final corner. Now we just have got the wiggle towards the line to go in the Cadillac. Don't clip any gates. Boot it now because we are clear to go flat out towards the line. We're going to do 221.4. 221.4 in a 900 horsepower front-wheel drive limo. This car, it is just absolutely incredible. I thought that this was going to be undrivable. I really thought when I saw what power we're going to get out of this, I didn't think it would work. And I was wrong. All of that power going to the front wheels, it could deal with it. I think massively helped by the gearbox. The gearbox saved this car. Because of such a very, very long second gear, I could just use that gear. And we had the power and torque to get away with it. And yeah, it worked out really rather well. I mean, that time, it puts the car into 8th place. Okay, it goes like 18 seconds quicker than the Hummer. It's only 6 seconds down on a Lotus Carlton. 6 seconds down on a Lotus Carlton. And we're in a limo with front-wheel drive and far too much power. That's incredible to me. The limo is amazing. It is. I'm absolutely speechless with this car. It's done it again. Yeah, go get this DLC pack if you haven't already. The limo is just amazingly good if you try and drive it sensibly, which is a really bizarre thing that I didn't expect to be saying. Not only have we proved racing it with a field of standard ones is incredible, autocrossing with a far too powerful front-wheel drive one, and it still works. Far quicker than the Hummer, not that far off actual sensible race cars. Well, that is not the expected outcome from this video, but there we go. That is it for this. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and until next time, goodbye.